Hello, fellow leggers.
So thanks for joining us here at the lovely Coventry Belgrade, where we are seeing the world premiere of a brand new play.
And that play is
Octopus Soup.
So stick around to find out how many stars.
And whether it's break a leg
or leg it. Yes, a play that is going out on tour is what we are seeing this evening.
Yeah, and it has
a comedy.
It has a great cast as well, and we'll come on to that a little bit later. But as you mentioned, world premiere, brand new play, written by Jack Milner and Mark Stevenson, directed by Joe Harmston. Now, the play is about Seymour, who is the safest man in Britain, before he meets a bungling burglar with bad knees on the eve of a conference call that could change his very life. Now, put alongside his neurotic actress wife Gloria and the burglar's psychotic crime boss who's just around the corner, what could possibly go right?
Okay,
that's what we're
so
asking.
It sounds like a bit of a recipe, a bit of a soup for disaster.
That's it, a disaster soup, an octopus. And as mentioned, the cast for this is pretty interesting because we've got Nick Hancock playing the lead role of Seymour. He is best known for the presenter of They Think It's All Over, the long-running BBC sports show, and he did Room 101 for years and years and years as well.
Okay.
Also in the cast is Paul Bradley, who's best known for playing Nigel in EastEnders, but we recently saw him on stage in
A Very, 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 Very Dark Matter at the Bridge Theatre.
At the Bridge, absolutely. We've also got Eric Richard in the cast, who played Desk Sergeant Bob Cryer in the long-running ITV drama The Bill. 20 years he was in The Bill. He was in
okay.
And I remember him fondly. I'm excited for this. 2 acts.
We need a bit of a comedy every now and again.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to know what's going to happen.
2 acts and 2 hours, including the interval. So pretty zippy for this one. But stick around to find out our interval 30-second breakdown.
And also to hear our thoughts on this production and how many stars. We have come to the interval of Octopus Soup, which means it is time for the Break-a-Leggers 30-second interval breakdown.
Go! What do you think?
I am struggling, fellow leggers. It's difficult. The cast are committed. They're giving it their all, but I'm not convinced by the script. How about you?
Yeah, it's exasperating really, because I can sort of see something there. It's just not coming out in this production. The performances are committed but not entirely comfortable. I'm hopeful for Act 2, maybe there'll be some laughter.
Leggers, oh leggers, oh leggers. We've come to the end of Octopus Soup.
And there are a few things that I admire about it. I mean, it's British and it's persevered. Apparently it's been in the works for 7 years.
And hey, yeah, there's something to be said for having an idea and seeing it through. I guess the writers creating something and getting a cast that's pretty, you know, high profile in terms of the credits.
And largely talented. So, I mean, there is things to celebrate here. Unfortunately, those things don't extend as far as the play text and for me, some of the performances and production, but we'll come on to that a bit later. Let's start with you. Let's talk about things that you enjoyed about it. Let's be positive.
The things that I enjoyed, you know, there were moments where I was smiling, more in the second act. The first act is a real set-up act and is a real drag.
It's a slog, isn't it?
A slog is real what it is. Come the second act, you get more of the complex setup from the first act that are beginning to unravel, and you've got the straight man in the middle who's kind of seeing the world go to chaos around him. And there's some moments within that you're like, okay, I can see how this setup follows normal comedy setups, and there's an element and an air of that formulaic formula that in this concept I can see being a bit humorous.
Also, do you think it helped that you had a drink in the interval?
I had a cider and a glass of wine, which I think probably helped.
Yes, but no, I would agree. I wasn't drinking, but I would say I enjoyed the second act more. We're introduced to new characters, and the characters that are set up in Act 1 are further So developed, I mean, as such that you have to set it up somehow. It just takes so bloody long to get there. And by that point, you've sort of lost me. Yes, there was the occasional funny line, and I was smiling, and there are bits that I would take away. I thought at one point we were going to get political and we were going to start talking about Brexit bringing down the country, but we didn't. We didn't quite go there. Although I'd have liked to have seen a bit of edge. It would have been welcome from me, from a political point of view. Let's go on to the performers. Nick Hancock, probably most well known to you guys, especially our British viewers, as the host of They Think It's All Over and Room 101. What did you make of him? I mean, not necessarily. I mean, he's a former Footlights member, so he has acting background. 2 episodes of Mr. Bean. I mean, come on.
I thought I can see his style. He's got a really nice tone and a really nice whiny kind of way of putting things across. It's like, oh, I don't understand.
The problem is it's all that, though, and nothing else.
So as the straight man, while everything is going to chaos around him and he's just trying to understand, and why won't anyone listen, he's the only one that gets it. There's something about him that I can see did suit that kind of character. So I can see that. However,
just no nuances, though.
No,
that's the problem. It didn't have light and shade.
A real strong comedy actor in this lead that really sees everything going crazy around him, and I don't think he quite had it personally. A real good attempt, but
10 out of 10 for effort.
Definitely.
Paul Bradley as Marvin Haynes, the hapless burglar. I mean, I've really enjoyed his work in The Very, Very, Very Dark Matter. He's been in Noises Off, which doesn't surprise me. Also known for EastEnders, and he was a beloved character on that, really well acted, and a character that's not been in it for a long, long time, but he's still talked about and memorable, which is a massive achievement in a career. So, yeah, well done for that.
But what about him in this?
What about him in this? Passable.
Okay. Moving on then.
Gillian Bevan as Virginia Wales. She's the sort of straight-talking banker, high-flying corporate bitch.
I liked the women in this. I thought the women were stronger for me. Again, not working with a great piece of text, but I could see that they were very accomplished performers, and they brought their craft with them, and the same there.
Great. So you mentioned other women, Carolyn Blackhouse as Gloria, the sort of struggling actress of the piece, who's maybe got where she's got because of her daddy. Now that happens in the industry. That nepotism is something that happens sometimes, doesn't it? I don't know. I mean, that's what we've always heard.
And
but
being, very flying off the handle, and
over the top, neurotic.
Over the top. I liked her. I thought she was very neurotic. She played that very well. Not the best text, but again, she was very committed, and I did feel safe in her hands. She knew her craft.
But for me, there was nothing original in that character. She acted as sort of in the writing sense of things. She acted like I would expect a neurotic actress to act, and
which is exactly what the piece asks for,
two-dimensional.
Right? But you can only work with what you're given.
You can only work with 2 dimensions. Eric Richard as Alan. He's been an actor for over 40 years. His stage work includes The Weo, which is a great piece, but best known for The Bill. 20 years he did on that show. I mean, he's aged since then.
I recognised him as soon as it came on.
Yeah.
He
plays the sort of gangster, sort of Don Corleone type of character.
He had
sort
Don
of
Corleone.
Ronnie and Reggie meets Don Corleone is what I would say.
A nice subtle touch is having The Godfather as his ringtone.
Yeah, I
thought that was nice.
I loved him. I thought he was great, actually. I thought he suited that character really well.
It's a really small. He came on in the second act. What a lovely
about a
job.
third of the way through second act. I was really taken by his performance, just as that lot of East End gangster character, and I'd love to see him do more of that. Actually, I think he's found his niche for me.
Okay.
He's gone from a copper to a criminal.
Wow.
In these 2 roles, isn't that funny?
The diversity of his acting abilities. He was good.
So let's also talk about Anthony Lamble as for set design. I thought it was a great box set. Believable.
Nice box set. Okay.
Great. Matthew Buggs, sound design, writer, composer, Miss Nightingale. Great to see you again, Matt.
So I guess you're probably wondering how many stars we are going to give this touring production of Octopus Soup.
For Octopus Soup, we are going to give 1.
just the one star, I'm afraid, fellow leggers.
Yeah, it's an arthropod, is that what an octopus is? That plumbs the depths looking for a laugh and comes up empty-handed, even though it's got eight of them.
I think that I'm trying to think of the appeal to the masses. Is there appeal? Maybe if you don't get to the theatre often, and you know you do know these actors,
safe.
It's quite safe to a degree.
Yeah.
The problem is it's just very slow in its setup. That I think people potentially you could lose your interest.
I mean, Act 1 massively drags, Act 2 is very uneven.
And there were moments where I thought, okay, it could end here,
Yes.
and it kind of just kept going on and on and on. I thought, oh, just tie this up a little.
And that was just the first 10 minutes. Never mind after that. But anyway, that's just what, guys,
totally
that's just
what I
we
think.
And it's what I think. But it's more important about what you think. Sometimes I would encourage you even more to see the shows that we don't particularly love, because there's something out there for everybody, and if you've got a difference of opinion, then go and see this piece and share it with us and with everyone else in the world. We'd love to hear from you.
And there are people out there who I'm sure will love this, and it could be you.
Yes,
You'll never know unless you give it a go.
Look out for, look out for Octopus Soup coming to a venue near you soon. We're the Breaker Leggers,
And we'll catch you again soon. Bye!